Hello, fellow Bytes. It's Michelle. I kind of sounded surprised there, didn't I? But I'm not. I'm not surprised at all. I'm Michelle from Deception Bytes, and I'm bringing you more Q, and we're going to get started here. These posts are from yesterday, and we're going to come up to date today, all the way up to, well, now actually it's 10:47 Eastern Standard Time, and there have been no Q posts. There may be another post before the night ends. If so, I will bring that to you tomorrow. But other than that, we will come up to date. So the first thing is posted by an Anon, and this was May 19th, yesterday, and they posted it Trump's Twitter here, one of his tweets from the same date, 19th of May, and he said, if the FBI or DOJ was infiltrating a campaign for the benefit of another campaign, that is a really big deal. Only the release or review of documents that the House Intelligence Committee, also Senate Judiciary, is asking for can give the conclusive answers. Drain the swamp. Then Q responds. Or is it Q? Well, we'll find out that it is. But look at the trip code. Now comes the pain. Well, it says now comes the pain 23. That's what the code is. Now comes the pain, PAIN 23. Interesting. Never seen a code like that. And he is responding to this post by the Anon that, put his tweet there, or Q's tweet there, and he said they thought it was coming yesterday. They were wrong. Follow the pen, Q. So this is the 19th that he's writing this. So he's thinking that, and yes, that would have been Saturday, and he's saying they thought it was coming yesterday. So they were expecting it on Friday, but it's not going to be Friday. It's going to be Monday. Now, I could be wrong, but I think maybe the 23 refers to in 23 hours, but I don't know. That wouldn't work either, because that would have been make it tonight. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe the 23rd means the 23rd of May, which is what? Wednesday, isn't it? What's today? Today is the 20th. Yeah. Wednesday is the 23rd. So, don't know, but they were expecting it Friday. They were expecting something to be done about this that he's talking about here in this tweet, but they were wrong. And then Q says, follow the pen. Now, we're going to see the pen coming up. Spoiler alert. Now, so then Q posts and says trip change, Q. And then he posts with a different trip code, which is this up here. Sorry, I hate to be Captain Obvious, but anyway, he says updated, Q. So he's, informing us that the trip code has been updated. Then this person, who we would assume to be Q, but I don't think it is, because this is using the old trip code right down here, which he just said he was going to change. And he said password exposed. And so Q, using the new trip code, responds to that and says mistake or on purpose, Q. And I'm not going to lie to you. This is a little bit confusing to me, because I just don't understand all this, and maybe I just don't understand enough how the boards actually work in terms of the trip codes and so forth, but I don't know. I don't know what is happening right in here, but this Anon says, if you knew when you set that trip that the pain would be delivered, and then -- 23, more evidence of foreknowledge. So Interesting. Because I don't know how far in advance these trip codes are set. Like I don't get that. So down here, he's saying he's using this trip code. But this anon is saying, where is it? Right here. I know. I'm confusing myself. Like, I know you're saying, look, you know what? You're confusing me. And I'm saying, like, yeah, I'm confusing myself. All right. You knew when you set that trip that the pain would be delivered. More evidence of foreknowledge. And Q responds, I'd watched the news that day. Q. And I believe he's talking about the 23rd of May. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's what I believe he's talking about. Okay, now here comes the pen. So we see this pen, and let me make this a little bit bigger. And we see something, a paper sticking out. Now, that is undeniably Trump's signature. Even just seeing that little bit. It's undeniable. He has the most distinct signature I have ever seen in my life. It's a very unusual signature. Very unusual. And it's very angular. It's a very angular signature. So that, to me, that's Trump's signature. Which would make sense, but still, even without, even if I didn't know what this was talking about, I would think that was his signature because it's just very distinct. And then below, there was a link to this tweet, but instead of going out to the link, I just grabbed it and put it in here. If the FBI or DOJ was infiltrating a campaign, so it's the exact same thing. So he's connecting these two things for us in our minds. This pen and signature has to do with this. Forcing them to release or review, or forcing the release of documents so that the House Intelligence Committee can review them, so that they could give their conclusive answers. So that's what that's about. And let me make this smaller again. Make it big, make it small. Okay, because it's hard. I get lost on the page when it's too big. So, anyway. So, the next one, let me see. Okay. We have to go all the way up here because it's a long one. So Q is posting these pictures, and they're taken from an NSA traffic cam, and ROT stands for rotation. So this is rotation 1, and of course we know that this is London by the big Ferris wheel, which oddly enough looks like a big Q. And we see people. I mean, we can determine. We know it's London. Other than that, there's some people walking here. There's cars. Other than that, I mean, we really don't see too much in these shots. This is, now down below is rotation 2. And again, it looks like it's taken in the same area, just further down, because I think that is the Q way down there, or the big Ferris wheel way down there. So now there has been some speculation on all this stuff, like what specifically we're looking at and where, and I may get into that tomorrow because I did see that some anons had done some work on this and had determined exactly where this traffic camera was. And, oops, sorry about that. And this is rotation 3. And I think this hotel is called the Corinthia, if I'm not mistaken. If that has any significance, I don't know. But this is also in London. Now, it says, note the time. Note the vehicles on the road. Compare against 2:16:18. 6. Surveillance value targets. So there's 6 targets that are under surveillance. And I think here Q is saying, because he's saying UK, US, US, UK. Remember how a country can't spy on its own citizens, but the UK can spy on US citizens and US can spy on UK citizens, right? So I don't like it any better than you do. I think that's what he's saying here. They're in the UK. I don't know. I don't know if he's saying that they're spying on somebody because they're in the UK and the US can spy on the UK. So even though they're US citizens, they're in UK, so they can be spied on. I think that's where he's getting at. Now, remember those pictures that we felt were probably Peter Strzok? And it's interesting because one of the Anons had found the one traffic cam, which they believe was a traffic cam, and there was another picture of the double-decker bus. So I do think that these pictures are all related. Now, Q posts another picture. It's a blurry picture. And he actually pasted his old post into this post. And it was his post from February 16th, and where a picture was posted. And I remember that actually now. And it says NSA traffic cam. It says UK, stay alert, Q. So that was February 16th. And I remember when he said that, thinking, that's odd, because it was just kind of out of place. And he does that a lot. He sticks something there. It feels like it's out of place, but then he comes back to it several days later, which is an interesting, sort of thing that he does. Now, below it, Q responding with the now comes the pain. Well, actually, no, he's actually pasted this picture. They thought it was coming yesterday. They were wrong. Follow the pen, Q. So whatever is going to be coming out, and that Q is forcing, them to hand over, I think it's going to have something to do with these pictures. Like, in part, anyway. I'm sure it has to do with a whole lot of things, but I think that one of the things is something to do with these pictures that he's posted. Because he's doing it, he's kind of putting them all together, that he's not separating this from this. They thought it was coming yesterday. They were wrong. Follow the pen. So I guess only time will be able to tell that, but that's what I think at this point. Now, this is the 20th of May, and it's a tweet by Q, or by, not by Q, by Donald Trump, who, maybe Q, we don't know. But anyway, this says, I hereby demand and will do so officially, excuse me, I thought I was going to sneeze. Sorry, I hereby demand and will do so officially tomorrow. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay, I'm not going to sneeze. I hereby demand, and will do so officially tomorrow, that the Department of Justice look into whether or not the FBI, DOJ infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes, and if any such demands or requests were made by people within the Obama administration. Whoo! Okay, I bet you the Depends are flying off the shelves tonight. Flying off the shelves. Yeah, so tomorrow, Monday, he's going to officially demand, probably what the pen was for, that the Department of Justice look into whether or not the FBI and the DOJ infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes, and if such demands or requests were made by people within the Obama administration. Ooh. Then, below, he says, follow the pen. Think timing. Coincidence? The attacks will only get worse. They are losing all control. Q. So, if indeed, and I believe that they were, pictures of Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, then I think that has to do with this. I think that there's something there. And, see, Q knows that everyone's watching this board. If you were, in the crosshairs of Trump right now, wouldn't you be watching this board? I sure would. I'd be watching it like a hawk. And I would be hanging on every word. Because, they've got to know. People like Corsi and whatever can troll all they want. But you and I know this is real. And of all people, they know it's real. I can bet you they're not sitting back going, oh yeah, Q, it's a LARP. We don't believe in that. Oh, no. That's not what they're doing. You and I know that. So, yep. Gosh, I wish I'd bought stock in Depends. Really. What was I thinking? I should have. You should have too. Why didn't you think of it? Why do I have to think of everything? All right. Now, here's the next picture. And it says, "We are Q," and it shows a big old crowd. "Where we go one, we go all" is the name of the JPEG. And great picture there. Huge crowd. Huge. If that was Hillary right there, there'd only be like, maybe 5-6 people out there. Just saying. Okay. Let's go on. And the next one is the flag. And this has been posted at least a couple times. Sorry. Gosh. I'm just being rude tonight, aren't I? I'm like scatterbrained. I'm all over the place. Okay. I'm sneezing. Anyway. Did you know that what's worse than a cat throwing up? Walking in it. That's what's worse. Okay, I'm going to focus now, and I'm going to get on track, and I'm going to finish this. I promise. No more diversions. I give you my word. All right, now, here's the next post, and it is by an Anon, and this Anon is posting Q's post, basically. The one that we just looked at. And it says, "New Q again." And it says /PF/ And I'm thinking, and please correct me, and probably, as I always do, I'll ask a question, and then when someone answers it, I'm like shaking my head that I didn't get that. But PF to me is please follow. New Q again, please follow. I don't know. But below, Q responds with his new trip code and says, given we have now undeniably, on purpose, verified ourselves to be an inside source, expect the mainstream media clown army to attack in full cooperation with foreign and domestic assets. Be prepared. Trust the plan. Conspiracy, no more. We are in full control. Pain. Q. So, basically, I think that pretty much speaks for itself. And of course, yeah, I expect these attacks from the media and from shills. There's a small group of them now that are, trying to claim that Q is false, and it wouldn't matter what Q did, they would still claim that. So, because either they haven't been paying attention or they've sold out. But I really do suspect that it's going to get worse. Now, let's move forward. Now, this Anon, responding to the group of pictures, says, Q's pics today seem to be a few seconds after the February pic. In the February pic, they are crossing the street, reaching the median. In today's pic, they have crossed the median and have begun crossing the street. The two people walking on the sidewalk on the right side of the picture are walking towards the camera. And Q responds and says, ROT equals rotation. Q. So, yeah, I'm not exact. I mean, he did put on the pictures that ROT1, ROT2, ROT3, and that means rotation. But why he's responding it to this picture, I guess he's just saying that the camera's been rotated. All right. Now, this gives me a lot of hope, this next one. The truth has been in front of you the entire time. How amazing the state, and he's put a post of Trump's tweet from, excuse me, from the 12th of December, 2013. And Q says, the truth has been in front of you the whole time. Oh, in front of you the entire time, Q. And here's a picture of Donald Trump's tweet from 2013 saying, how amazing the state health director who verified copies of Obama's birth certificate died in a plane crash today. All others lived. You know, I remember when that happened. I remember it well. And I remember thinking that same thing. That, yeah, what are the odds that everybody lived except her? What are the odds? So, Donald Trump obviously was wondering the same thing back in 2013. So, and he says the truth has been in front of you the entire time. Q. Now, this is something I don't understand. Because it says clarification. And this is, Q's new trip code. It says clarification. We exposed the password 91 on purpose 23. Subsequent posts on here were then made by Anons. Timestamps verify. Use logic. Understood? Be careful who you follow. Q. Well, I'm sorry, Q. No, I don't understand. Because 91 was the number of the post where Q said about the pain and then 23. So he's referring to that trip code. And that trip code apparently was the password. That's how I'm reading this and taking this. And he's saying subsequent posts on here were then made by Anons. So Yeah. Again, I don't know what he's meaning here, other than the posts after that were made with his old trip code were made by Anons, which I pointed out. So I don't know, but I'm just not the Q whisperer that I thought I was, because today's not doing so well with today's drop. Now, and I apologize for keep clearing my throat. All right, now here's the next one, and Q has clipped his own post from the 16th, and it says, "Follow the pen, already written, letters left visible to match." And we saw that. We saw the letters were left visible, and it was clearly his tweet. I mean, his signature, rather. So, you know something? Hang on here. I'm going to go out to the board for a second. And I wish I could... Jim _ Jordan status. I don't know. I didn't go out to this, so I'm not sure what this actually is, and I can't just copy and paste it, which really sucks. Anyway, I will have to do that and find out what that is. Okay, so he's talking from the 16th, where he says, "Follow the pen, already written, letters left visible to match." And the thing is, this was from the 16th, but the picture wasn't released until the 20th. So, yeah. Then, underneath, he says, "Those who are loudest, suicide weekend, pain, Q." And, he's always said that those who are the loudest, they're the guiltiest. So, suicide weekend, maybe not suicide, but definitely going to go through a bunch of depends. Is it depends or depend? I'm not sure. But really, do you really want an underwear called Depends? Like Depends. You really kind of want something, I don't know, like For Sure. Maybe they should have called them For Sures. Anyway, so I'm going to go on here. I'm really sorry about the drop tonight. I'm just kind of bumbling my way through it, and I'm really not sure why. But this is the last one. I'll do better tomorrow. No, really, I will. Okay. So this is straight out of the Bible, and it's Q's trip code. It says, "Finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything to stand, stand firm. Then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the saints." Ephesians 6, verses 10 to 18. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. love never fails. 1 Corinthians 13, 4 to 13. 14, or 4 to 13, rather. And I certainly have no... the Bible does not offend me in any way. I am a Christian, and I do believe that the Bible is the Word of God. But and I've told you how I feel about this in the past. I think that there should be a separation of church and state because I think it's dangerous when they're combined. Extremely, extremely dangerous. And, God is not political. It's not a political kingdom that we seek or that Christ sought. So that's how I feel about that. But that is the last post for today. I did stick in a couple things here that I thought you might find interesting. And I found this on someone's Twitter account. And the person, it's called We the People, Make America Great Again. And they said QAnon hinted at it. Here's the truth about Obama's origin from a 1991 literary pamphlet, Born in Kenya. So this person has tracked this down, and it says, Barack Obama, the first African-American president of the Harvard Law Review. Interesting that it's saying Barack Obama, the first African-American president of the Harvard Review, because this is in 1991, was born in Kenya and raised in Indonesia and Hawaii. The son of an American anthropologist and a Kenyan finance minister, he attended Columbia University and worked as a financial journalist and editor for Business International. And I think it's cut off there. Corporation. He served as a project coordinator in Harlem. But I don't know, wasn't it somewhere that he said his father was a goat herder? Or was that his grandfather? I don't know. But I thought he said I'm the son of a goat herder. That his father grew up herding goats. I don't know. But anyway, so, I mean, that only confirms what we already know anyway. But still, it's interesting that is out there somewhere, floating around. And in terms of that plane crash, and Obama's, I grabbed this from someone's Twitter as well. And here Q is saying, the truth has been in front of you the entire time. And then he's pointing down here to Donald Trump's tweet. How amazing, the state health director who verified copies of Obama's birth certificate died in a plane crash today. All others lived. And that was 12/12/13. 2013. And then down here, engine failed in Hawaii plane crash that killed top health official. Loretta Fuddy declared sole victim of unexplained crash. Curiouser and curiouser. But we've known this. We've known this a long time. I'm sure most, if not all of us, knew back in 2013 that crash was, deliberate. And then we got this. Oh, down here, let's see. Columbia University, Barry Soetoro. Then up here it says, Sheriff probe finds Obama birth certificate fake. Yeah. So, again, nothing that we didn't know, but interesting nonetheless. So I will keep my eyes open for more Q posts, and we'll bring them to you tomorrow if there are any, and if not, I will bring you some Q related news. I hope that you sleep well and stay safe. Thanks for listening.